Hello and welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast. We are doing a special episode tonight to talk about the news that was reported by Variety on September 17th that The Lost Boys is being rebooted.
What?
What?
Oh my god.
Shit-eating son of a bitch!
And that's how a lot of people...
Douchebag! Twat!
There's a hole in the wall of Alex's apartment over this.
No, I honestly do not care, and if anything, I'm looking forward to it. Because you know what this means? Merchandising! We're going to get re-releases, probably a 4K of the original movie, vinyl releases of the things,
Action figures.
potentially NECA action figures, I would hope.
If this movie
They've done them
releases
before,
next
I
year
think.
like they're
They
talking
did
about,
like 2
right?
or 3 or something.
You're going to release the reboot 35 years later, so they might... And they say reboot now, but if it's early enough in development, they could just have it be a continuation or whatever else. So it could still be in universe, right? There's no, there's nothing saying
I don't know
anything
about that,
really right
but
now.
But yeah.
But the 35th anniversary is next year, so if they're going to release the reboot 35 years later, interesting take. But it's still good for the advertising, merchandising, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the internet is absolutely losing their shit about this, depending on where you look.
There's a lot of people that are fucking really angry about this, and I get it.
They have this mentality that the remakes shouldn't exist, period, or reboots. And that's just not a realistic place to live.
There's a lot of movies where the remake's better than the original, or better in your mind because that's what you're nostalgic for.
Or just a remake that you appreciate having because it's a different take. Like Dawn of the Dead. It's not better,
No.
but I like it a lot, significantly.
Yeah, it's a good alternate take on the same story concept.
Yeah.
Also, the movie The Thing. Fucking great movie. Everyone's like, oh, the Kurt Russell movie? You're like, no, that's the remake, you asshole. So
People think when you're talking about the remake of The Thing, they think you're talking about the remake of John Carpenter's The Thing. That's actually a prequel.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a whole thing there.
So people lose their mind. So a few of the people that have been named on this project so far. So Noah Jupe, you might know him from A Quiet Place 2, Ford versus Ferrari. There's a couple other things on there that he's well known for as well. Besides that, I guess he's probably 15 or 16. They kind of questionable about his age.
We're going to just have to see what they do with this casting. There's no way to know what characters they're playing at this point. You
No.
can speculate almost any one of the male characters. So
In their age range, right? So it seems like they could be younger than this, but it's hard to say. And then Jaden Martell is known from playing in the It movie in St. Vincent. So
he was Bill in the It movie, if you've watched that.
Yeah.
So as the kid.
And then Jonathan Entwistle is a director. So one of the bigger projects he's done is The End of the Fucking World, which is a Netflix series. It's kind of a British show, and he's a British director. So the humor's a little different, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a vision for this. And then the writer is Randy McKinnon. So he's written a lot of short films and some TV series and some streaming series and stuff. So not super familiar with his work, but that really doesn't give you much to speculate on as far as, is it going to be great? Is it going to be amazing? You never know what you're going to get, right? This fresh take could be something that's
Box of
incredible.
chocolate.
Me and Nick looked at each other and we were both about to quote Forrest Gump at the
You
same
never
time.
know.
You son of a bitch.
Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates.
I wonder,
know what you're going to get. As he stuffs his mouth full of chocolate.
you think they're going to, not shot for shot, but just pretty much follow the original?
I don't have any clue or speculation to that. I don't care. It's too early for me to debate
When they
it.
say
Or what would
reboot-
you want?
I mean, they've been trying to do this for a while. Let's not forget, that they wanted to do the TV series and
Yeah, and
just
that-
do the gender
and
bent
that
version
got-
of it.
Well,
with
they
females.
didn't even make the pilot for that, is what I heard. They wrote it, but then it didn't get
Yeah, it
made.
didn't get filmed.
Yeah, that project got
Did not
canned,
go.
so turned
It was a
into
CW
movie.
thing. And then as Jameson Newlander mentioned on our show when we interviewed him, if you haven't viewed that, you should check that out. That he was working with Corey Feldman on trying to pitch a Frog Brothers television series, which that doesn't mean that this won't happen because they did a Ghostbusters remake, and then they are making into Ghostbusters 3. They did a Child's Play remake, and now they're
Well,
making a Chucky TV series.
Even if this is successful, they could still do it.
That's what I'm
there's-
saying.
We're at a point in time.
Unsuccessful.
You
Or
can have
successful.
multiple continuities of shit existing. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Just look at Batman and Spider-Man and shit like that.
Well, look at what Marvel's done for the concept of a multiverse, right? It doesn't matter. Like, people are just so open-minded now to have...
I don't say multiverse when I'm talking about this.
I know, but I'm just saying that concept of similar stories being told in a different way, right? Because you're more open-minded to
so
it
there
because
could be a Lost Boys movie in the future where they find like an interdimensional portal and then...
Shut the fuck
They
up,
can
Nick. I just meant the fact that
intermingle.
you can have two different continuities of the story going, and people are going to be okay with it just because they're familiar with the concept of that now. Doesn't mean they ever need to cross over anything. It just gives you the option to say, hey, okay, you can do that. You can do two different things at the same thing at once.
I don't know how likely that Frog Bros TV series is to get made, but we're here for it either way. And like I said, I'm here for this because why not? It's going to give us more merchandise. It's we'd be stupid not to be here for it. We're a fucking Frog Brothers podcast.
Yeah.
Asking me about it is the wrong thing if you're looking for someone to agree with your opinion that it shouldn't happen.
Well, and you already have this subculture of people that don't like the sequels that they made to this movie. Now, granted, the first sequel is kind of a plot for plot. Loosely,
It's garbage.
It's a loose. The original sequel
Garbage.
is a loose reboot, though. That's already what that is, right? So if this is going to be a major...
I don't know. I don't like using that term when it's actually a sequel to call it a reboot. And
well,
people do that like with Force Awakens. I don't like it. I don't know. Because
Well,
it's like, I don't know.
like soft reboot.
It's just too confusing because you're confusing people.
Yeah.
It's like how
Legacy
Ghostbusters
sequel
2016 in the trailers, they were like, 30 years ago,
Well,
four
they were-
scientists.
They were
Like,
trying to trick people on that.
Okay, well then it's a beat.
Same-
It's a beat by beat sequel, just like Ghostbusters 2 is, right? Because we got to get the business going again. We
Or
got to go
Hangover
up
2.
against adversity,
There's
right?
a lot of sequels.
You got to take
yeah,
the same
sequelitis.
concept. Yeah.
We get it. But that movie also is in a weird budget. It came out at a weird time. Has weird cast that's just we don't care about. That's the big problem with it.
Well,
You
they
don't
went from being like a major big budget movie to the sequels being like kind of a direct to video, so the budget wasn't there.
I like the third one.
The third one's
Genuinely
great because
enjoyable watch.
it's completely its own thing. I mean, you get the Frog Brothers in there, and that's what makes that work, right? So that gives me the possibility that you can take this concept and do something unique with it, something new, something fresh.
Yeah.
Right? Because could you imagine that? Yeah, when you say, well, we're going to do a movie about vampires now. Well, what does the Lost Boys look like with cell phone technology and all this shit, right? What does the internet look like? There's all these things that would be on there now that you wouldn't have had to consider back then just based on the technology aspect. So I get why it's intriguing to say, hey, I got some good ideas that could really work with this idea now. So it could be... Right.
Or it could be a remake that takes place in the 80s again.
Yeah, that
Remakes
happens
do that sometimes.
Guys, check out my new favorite channel. It is so good.
Yeah, I'm about exhausted on this one though, just because there's so much negativity on the internet about it. I'm reserving judgment. There's nothing else we can say other than speculate and say, are you here for it or are you not? Pretty much at this point. So
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Just got to
be
wait for
sure-
more info.
If you want to know more about it and you're on board, like and subscribe because we will be talking about this as we hear about it, as production happens and those things, casting news and all that stuff. We'll start talking about it and reporting on it and let you know what we think.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so, like you said, hit like and subscribe. Tell us what you think in the comments. If you disagree with us, that's fine. Just don't be a dick about it.
Downvote the video.
Sure, downvote it. Fuck it. Downvote us.
Call us.
I don't care.
Call us cunt.
Fight me. Yeah, call me a cunt and downvote me. Call me a cunt in the comments and downvote us. Goodbye.